Our life is very simple and straightforward. By that, I mean, as the Buddha says, when he gives most basic instructions, he says, when hearing, just hearing, when seeing, just seeing, when feeling, just feeling, when cognizing, just cognizing. If we add on therefore, therein, thereby, when we do that, then we create difficulties, suffering. So in a sense, practice is two things, if we say it, or Zazen is two things. It's being experiencing, being bodily experiencing, and noticing when and how we're caught up in mental phenomena, in thoughts about when and how we're adding therefore, therein, thereby, I like, I don't like, it shouldn't, tomorrow, yesterday, as opposed to being, if we want to say, being, breathing right here now, being embodied right here now, being the physical, which we can't miss, and yet we can miss. And when we miss it, that much we cut ourselves off. And when we add on and believe our thinking, there's no problem with thinking. Buddha says, when cognizing, just cognizing. But when we add on and entangle those mental processes in the various forms, and we don't notice it, when we believe it and make it, as I said last week, our business, then we get into trouble. We get into trouble because we go off from where we are right here. We go off and create suffering and harming, and not because I say it, not because Joko says it, or the Buddha, or any of our other teachers. It's because we discover it for ourselves, how we suffer from it, or how we become entangled in it and harm ourselves or others with it. So our ongoing practice has to be to, one, observe, notice that mental, emotional process, whatever you want to call it, that we're holding on to, and then being the bodily experiencing, the experiencing of this moment, which is always what nurtures us. It's always what nurtures us if we're willing to be nurtured. But we can interfere with it. And it's up to us to notice where we're interfering, where we're getting into business that's not our business, such as our thinking or our likes and dislikes. There's many ways we can notice it, and it's up to us to notice when we're doing that. Not because they're bad or good, but because the consequences of not noticing it are poisonous for us, or harmful to others, or I'll say it differently, result in us doing things that are harmful to others and harmful to ourselves. So in one sense, it's very simple. It's simple when we're sitting. It's simple in our life. It's simple in the sense that we always have this capacity and ability to be this experiencing. In fact, we can't be other than that. Not one of us can be other than our experiencing. Not in some special way, but in the way that our life is. Or the way, if I'll say it differently, our Buddha life is. But everyone you meet, and every one of us, in every state, can be and rest in this experiencing that's always available. And it doesn't mean not having thoughts coming and going, but not making our thoughts, our emotions, our business. As I said last week, your thoughts aren't your business, except that we make it our business and then we make trouble. We make our thoughts our business. Your thoughts are not your business. And as we practice, we will discover that the more we can let that go, the more porous and porous it is, the more it's transparent. Not because it doesn't arise, but because we don't entangle in those emotion thoughts. And sometimes we still get in trouble. Joko says somewhere that practice results in compassion and appreciation of our life and the life of others. But nevertheless, she says, quote, I goof all over the place. What I do is fix it up if I feel that's called for. But I don't land on myself for it. I just do what I can do. I know what I am. I'm not a person. I'm just a process that's working itself out. See, there's nowhere to get to. There's nothing to accomplish except to be this ability, if you want to say it, to see that there's nowhere to get to, that it's always just being this experiencing right where we are. And being this experiencing, as the Buddha says, hearing when hearing, seeing when seeing, thinking when thinking, or cognizing, and so forth, is the end of suffering. And end of suffering is also the end of harming. Or we could say it the other way. End of harming is the end of suffering. And this is what we have to offer, so to speak, to ourselves, because it is who we are. And this is what we have to offer to others. Not because we have something special to tell them, but because we cease doing what creates harmfulness, what creates suffering, and we do what naturally nurtures life, our life and the life of others. But in a sense, if I say it this way, it comes back to the willingness to be practice, which means the willingness to notice. We can call it mental processes. We could call it emotion, thought. Notice our building on it and entangling in it, and the willingness to, in a sense, to open up that to be the experiencing of this moment life, this moment zazen, this moment life, as your life is. As our life is. Your life is the perfection and the wisdom of the Buddha, and we could miss it if we aren't willing to let go of, to notice, and in a sense, that lets go of the emotion thought that we often entangle in, whether we call it self-centeredness or other things. The stories and thoughts that we make our business, and therefore make our business about how others should or shouldn't be, and how the world should and shouldn't be. Perfect way knows no difficulty, says the third ancestor. Just doesn't hold on to likes and dislikes. If we could say it another way, doesn't hold on to self and other. So please nurture your life, which is nurturing the life of the universe as it is right here, right now. Thank you.